It's easy, miss. Anyone can do this. What's all the fuss about? Like Jack. Anyone can do it. It's easy. First, I've got a stitch. I'm not right. You having a lull?
You alright, mate?
Ian, I'm not right.
You're all wrong. Right, now here is brand new Richard Hammond's Blast Lab. Email in and tell us what you think about exercise.
Ian,
What?
I've been wronged.
Hi, would you like my autograph as well? But it's my lab. He's just a lab rat. He can't even write. Look, this is pathetic. Oh, thank you. Hello, and welcome to my Blast Lab. Yeah. OK, yeah, this is the best laboratory in the whole... OK, maybe not the best. The biggest laboratory in the whole... Maybe not the biggest laboratory in the world. The best laboratory currently on television right now with him in it and a big tank of toxic goo. Yeah, it is. Coming up in just a few moments, we will have two teams of budding young scientists competing in top-level scientific challenges to win excellent prizes. With an undeniable mountain of knowledge and an unfixable fountain of engine oil, it's Oliver and his soon-to-be world-famous Fact Now 2.0. In mini-science, we witness a world first and possibly last as our teams conquer friction by combining one of the slippiest man-made substances on the planet with giant frying pans. Meanwhile, my lab rats get their paws on a slow-motion camera and uncover the amazing world behind boring, everyday things. In this week's Messy Messy Mess test, we play bridge. No, not Ninja Nan's favourite card game, but the one, and for planning permission reasons, the only Bridge of Destiny.
The Bridge of Destiny.
Yeah. Now, what would you say if I told you this high-security lab was only protected by an elderly lady? Well, you'd probably say, I know, Richard, I've watched Blast Lab loads of times. She's a ninja. And you'd be right. Here she is. Let's see what Ninja Nan and her friends from Cobra Squad are up to. Oh, no, looks like things have got nasty. Somebody's only gone and done Ninja Nan's word search without asking. I feel bad now. It was me that did it. Let's not say anything. Let's instead have a look at who's trying to get into my lab today. Hello, so you three say you're the red team. All right, well, we have to be sure for security reasons. Identify yourselves by name, please.
Aisling, Michael, Ronan.
Aisling, Michael, Ronan. Yep, that checks out with your security file here. And the talent, who's doing what for us?
I can do kickboxing.
Oh, yes, that's kickboxing going on. I believe you. Come on into the lab, please. Right, so you three claim to be the red team. All right, well, just before I can finally give you security clearance and full access to the lab, we have agreed a password. What do you think it is?
Flying.
Flying is what I've got written down here. Why that?
Because it was our first time flying yesterday.
What, to get to the lab? Really? I believe you. You're accepted and passed through security. Go and get settled in, ready for the first game. That is your red team. There they are. Great, we've got a red team. That's good. What we need now is a yellow team, and these three say it's them. Hello. Right, so You three claim to be the yellow team. You could be anybody. Just for security reasons, identify yourselves by name.
Zoe. Jacob. Aiden.
Zoe, Jacob, Aiden. That's what I've got on the security file here. What are you going to do to prove you are who you say you are?
I can bend around a broom.
I don't even understand. You're going to have to demonstrate this.
Okay.
Oh, ow! OK, fair enough. Oh! Well, I'm assuming nobody else here could do that, so, yeah, you can come in, Right, we've agreed a password with the real yellow team. If you are they, you would know what it is.
Water!
Yes, I've got it written down. Why? Have you gone for water just because it's, like, really important, or...?
Because when my mum was sunbathing, I threw a bottle of water out the window onto her.
Whoa, that was ill-advised. I should explain, you are all your brothers and sisters, aren't you? You're all
Yes.
a happy family. Well, happy family until that moment, I'm guessing.
Kind of.
OK, fair enough. Yellow's right. Water it is, then. Go and get settled in. That is your yellow team. We have a yellow team. Next, it's time to meet my favourite automobile in this lab. What he lacks in horsepower, he makes up for in headlight power. No, he doesn't, actually. They're terrible. He makes up for in a horrible knocking sound in fourth. It is Oliver. Docked into FatNav and get you all connected up and ready. OK. System up and running. Yeah. Now, Oliver here has got FatNav 2.0 fitted to him. It's a system that can provide you with millions of scientific facts when installed by a qualified professional. However, when it's installed by an unqualified amateur, like, well, me, for instance, about half the facts turn out to be wrong. Teams, this is where you come in, because you are going to have to tell me whether the science facts I give you are true or false. If they turn out to be true, Oliver will then let us know by doing this. If they turn out to be false, he'll let us know by doing this. So that means false. Right, here's how we play the game. Each team has 3 red lights next to them. Every time you answer a question correctly, I'll turn one of your lights green. The first team to get all 3 lights lit green wins the game. They take a point and we move on. One important thing, though. If you get a question wrong, I'll light a light green for the other team. Everybody understand the rules? Right, teams, the first question is a nearest to question. What is the highest recorded temperature on Mercury? What is the highest recorded temperature on Mercury?
5,
Oh, there we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
Yellows, what have you got? 253 degrees Celsius. Reds, 3,400 degrees Celsius. The real answer is 467 degrees Celsius, which means the yellows are closest. It's a green light for the yellows. Don't worry, this game can turn so quickly. It can turn so quickly. Right, that means, yellows, you've taken control of the game. You have a green light lit. That means you get the first true or false question. And here it comes. The owl noise, twit-twoo, is actually made by 2 owls, not just one. Have a little chat and think about it. While you're doing that, yellows, because this is pretty important. Audience, let's see what you think. Vote with your feet. Is it true or false? Some frantic mind-changing from some, then. I saw there was a bit of mind-changing from you. You suddenly decided, no, it's true, yeah?
Because it's very loud.
Yes.
So it must be made by 2 because
Oh, I
one
see what you mean.
is could be very quiet.
Volume, yeah, volume is one theory right here. What do you reckon?
I think it's false because it might be where the owl might have big lungs and it might make it loud.
So owls have just got a loud voice. What do you reckon? Made by 1 owl or 2 owls?
1.
1 owl. OK, well, audience, thank you very much indeed for your opinions. Pop back to your places. What do you think? The owl noise, twit-twoo, is actually made by 2 owls, not just 1. You think that's true or false?
False.
You think that's false? Oliver, please tell us, is that true or false? It's true! It's true! You said false, that means it's a green light to the Reds. I'm sorry, Alex, but there you go. The Reds get the green light. That's so good. It's actually tawny owls that make the twit-twoo noise, in fact. And what we hear is a mixture of both the male and female owls calling to each other. It's quite romantic, really. So presumably one goes twit and the other goes twoo, or something like that. Reds, this is now you in the same position as the yellows were a moment ago. Because you get this one right, you've got 2 lights lit green, you're in good form. Get it wrong, they could win it with their next question. So here is your science fact. The longest woman's fingernail in the world is 90 centimetres long. Is that true or false? Have a little think about it. You've got time. I'm not going to hurry you for an answer because in the meanwhile, we'll ask the audience what they think. Is it true or false? Vote with your feet. Let's see. So, 90 centimetres for the longest woman's fingernail in the world. What do you think? Longest woman's fingernail in the world, 90 centimetres?
I think it might be a bit longer because I saw something in the newspaper.
Longer than that. Ooh, OK. And what do you think?
I think it's too long to be someone's fingernail.
Remind it, how could it grow that long without breaking?
Yeah, it's too
Sounds
long.
fierce. OK, audience, if you'd like to get back to your places, please. Now we know what you think. We're interested in those what the Reds think because this is their question. The longest woman's fingernail in the world is 90 centimetres long. Is that true or false? False.
False.
OK. Oliver, is that true or false? The Reds think it's false. Oh, no, it's true. It's true. That means a second green light for the yellows. There you go. The record is held by American Lee Redmond. She's not cut her nails since 1979. I know your face is just exactly it. 1979. Right. Now the position is very interesting. This is to stay in the game. This is pretty important. Here comes your science fact. Houseflies live, on average, for 2 years. So that's the science fact. Is it a fact? Is it true? Or is it false?
False.
Oliver, for the game, is it true or false? It is false. It is false. And that means another green light lit for the yellows. There you go. In actual fact, houseflies actually only have an average lifespan of 2 weeks and usually spend most of this sort of buzzing around my septic tank, to be honest. Well done. It's 1-0 to the yellows right now. Out all those years ago to build my very own time machine, I had no idea that my never-before-seen splicing of science fact with science fiction would lead to an often-before-seen result, science failure. Well, I say failure. It did work, sort of, as the first person to use my time machine is about to prove, and that, of course, is Mini Miss.
First person to use your time machine, Richard, I'd like to suggest you also make that the last.
Yes, miss. Sorry, miss, about the whole... Yeah, she was my old science teacher at school, and she still is my science teacher. It's just that she's come out of my time machine as a 10-year-old.
I haven't got all day, Richard. Can we move on?
Yes, what are we doing today? What's today's game all about?
Well, Richard, we'll be investigating friction by playing a game I like to call...
Teflon curling.
I've seen curling, miss. That's the one where they slide huge lumps of granite along the ice, like that. I've often thought, why don't they just use smaller lumps of granite? It would make it a lot easier. You could go a lot further.
Yes, and another way to make it easier would be to replace the ice with a sheet of Teflon, one of the slipperiest man-made substances on the planet.
Yeah, OK, and that's what we've got here, a huge slide of the slippy substance, and in the background we have these objects. So each team has to choose an object and then put it in a giant frying pan and attempt to slide them along the slippery surface into these score zones.
But don't push too hard, or the frying pan will slip off the end and into the fire, and you'll get no score at all for your push.
Right, so what we've got is our super slippery surface here, which means we've kept friction down to a minimum. What you guys have to do, teams, is give the right amount of momentum to the frying pan with your chosen object in it so that it slides down to the highest score possible before the little bit of friction that is here actually makes it come to a stop. So this is a game of skill and judgment. You're judging the amount of momentum required. Good luck with that. OK, let's get on with the game. Yellow team, you won Fact Nav. You are ahead right now, so you get to decide if you want to go first or second. What do you want to do?
Could we go second, please?
OK, well, Reds are going first. In that case, let's get on with it. Good luck, both teams. Here we go.
The Reds have been forced to go first, and they've chosen the egg.
That's 3 points for the Reds.
Now it's round 1 for the Yellows, and they've gone for the burger. Will this fast food live up to its name?
Nice call.
That's 5 points for the Yellows. Good shot.
You're going for the sausage. What? It's sausage. Good luck, Reds.
That's 4 points for the Reds.
The Yellows now choosing tomatoes. Can they beat what has gone before?
Now, Jacob trying to judge the amount of momentum needed to score the most without going into the fire.
The Yellows showing us how it should be done with a perfect score.
That's 7 points for the Yellows.
It's not looking good for the Reds. They only have 7 points to the Yellows' 12. They're going to need to get a maximum score here to stand any chance of winning this game.
Bacon sets it down. That's a 4, still a good score. Good safe score. Well done.
That's 4 points for the Reds.
With that last effort, it is now impossible for the Reds to win. The Yellows still have one more go, though, with the final item, the bacon.
Here we go. That's a good one again.
That's 4 points for the Yellows.
Right, teams, we have finished. We have slid everything that we have to slide. And I can tell you that well, here are the scores. Reds, you've got 11. Yellows, 16. That means it's now 2-0 to the Yellows. Well done, team. It was a game of judgment. How much momentum to give it? Sorry, lads, don't worry. It's not over yet, Reds. It's not over yet. All that sliding around was a bit fast-paced for me. My excitement-o-meter is measuring off the chart, by which I mean my heart's beating way too fast and I feel a bit sick. I think it's time we slowed things down a bit.
Meet Slow Rider. This bad boy believes everything in life is better when done slowly. In fact, he's been living such a slowed-down life that he's even developed the knack of viewing everyday occurrences in slow motion. Today, we've brought in a special slow-motion camera, which will let us into his secret world of slowness. We'll be able to see things 40 times slower than they really are, and find out just why he loves things going so slowly. We're using a camera that captures 40 times more images per second than the human eye, allowing us to see things as they actually happen rather than how we think they do. So, what's first on the menu? A lab rat eating a lemon. Well, Slow Rider seemed impressed. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, it is disgusting, but for some reason it's hard not to look. Next, a man with a fish. Amazing! Even on what is one of the slimmer lab rats, you can clearly see the skin rippling from the point of fish on face impact. What now? 2 cream cakes. Oh, I think I can see what's coming here. Comic genius. Now let's take a look at that in slow motion. Okay, all very entertaining, but this is Blast Lab, so it's time for an experiment. 1 lab rat and a balloon filled with water. When popped and watched at normal speed, it looks like this. All a bit messy, but what is happening? I feel a science graphic coming on. When the balloon is popped, there are several forces acting on the water, each affecting its shape and how it falls. First, there's gravity, which should pull each and every water molecule towards the ground at the same rate, making the water keep the exact shape of the balloon. Second, there's surface tension. This is made by the water molecules being sticky and wanting to cling to each other. This surface tension acts to make the water a perfect ball shape. Finally, there's air resistance. This pushes on the water molecules as they fall through the air, making them spread out in all directions. Okay, so there are three forces that can change the water's shape. But when you watch the balloon burst with your own eyes, it's impossible to see what they actually do to the water. Let's watch it again, only this time with our special slow-motion camera. Will we see the water keep the shape of the balloon as it's popped, or will the water splash everywhere?
OK, hold the experiment. There is a point up for grabs here, teams. Right now the score is 2-0, I know, so you can't suddenly take the lead, but it'd be nice to win the point, wouldn't it? I will give the point to the team that can tell me most accurately what happens. What do we think? Will the water be able to hold its shape? Yellows. What do you think?
I think we'll be able to see it hold its shape.
Do you think like just a balloon shape? OK, that's what the yellows think. Reds, what do you reckon?
We think we're seeing that it'll keep shape.
All right, well, let's find out. There's only one way to do that. On with the experiment. Let's have a look.
So we all think we know what happens when you pop a water balloon. But what really happens? Let's find out. As the balloon breaks, some water droplets explode outwards, but the main bulk of the water actually holds the shape of the balloon before dropping.
So, there you have it. Water does actually hold the shape when it comes out, burst out of the balloon. So that means it's a point to both teams.
Yeah, well done, absolutely. Yeah. All right, you can have it back. Thank you, Michael. I just like popcorn. Thank you very much. Both teams get a point from that. The score now is 3-1. Reds and yellows, away you go and get ready, get changed. It is good, though. It's salty, it's nice. That got my lab rats thinking, that experiment. Though they don't think normally like the rest of us.
Looks like Slow Rider has taken his leave. A lab rat in charge of an expensive piece of camera equipment. Now that's a recipe for disaster if I ever saw one. Slow motion of a ball being kicked, eh? Well, let's see what happens. We can see the ball compressing against the foot before shooting off. Very impressive for once. I take it all back. He's hit the camera. Wait until I get my hands on you. All right, and now it's time for...
Yep, in that tank with you are pieces of a bridge. A bridge better known as the Bridge of Destiny.
The Bridge of Destiny.
You have to find all the pieces you can in that gunge to make the bridge to drive your cars across. It's that simple. And the team that crosses it first will win all the prizes in the car's trailer. Prizes like radio-controlled Spider, Bionic Copter. You'll be winning one of those each. Teams, you know what you're doing? If we're ready, let's play the Bridge of Destiny. Yellow team, you're in the lead right now, so you get a 5-second head start. Reds, you go on the second siding, not before. OK, everybody know what they're doing. Good luck in the race to get your cars across. Let's start now.
And it's the yellows who have the advantage, but will they make it count? There go the Reds. It's a battle out there today, with neither team taking prisoners. No some time for pleasantries in this game. Both teams struggling to impose themselves at the moment, opting for the square peg in a round hole tack, which I can honestly tell you has not been the most successful technique in times past here. There's certainly no lack of effort on display today. Hard to tell who's doing best or who's doing worst, should I say, with both teams desperately trying to build a bridge, maybe as slowly as possible. I did explain the rules, didn't I? Did I? And as if things weren't bad enough, that sounds like my sickly robot Alan about to, sneeze. Lovely. Why is it blue? Please don't write in. I probably don't want to know. Anyway, back to the game. Has there been any progress whatsoever? Well, Yes, both teams seem to have woken from their slumber and are desperately close to finishing their bridges. It really is anyone's game now. I don't know, I think the yellows might have the edge, but it's too close to call. Oh, not again. Alan's about to add to the confusion. Oh, thanks so much for your input, Alan. Always welcome. This is the closest finish I've ever seen. Is it red? Is it yellow? I don't know. The crowd doesn't know. But it's the yellows that have pulled their lever first to release the prize wagon. Will it slip? It's slipping, but it's over. A majestic win for the yellows. Bad luck, Reds.
Yeah, I'd say yellows, you got your car safely across the bridge and then some. Right, well, we picked those up. That could be only one result then. It's a win for the yellows. Well done. Let's have a look at what you've won, Jeanette. Are you ready? Each of you will be taking home Tomb of Doom, Private Copter for each of you, Lunar Eclipse Bedroom Light, a puzzle cube for each of you, radio-controlled spider for each of you, flying UFO, all of your own, bouncy balls, and a metal detector. That's all great news on this side of the tank. Over here, slightly different, unlucky losing team. Funnily, you would actually have won exactly the same prizes. You'd each have been taking home all of those. But of course, on Blast Lab, only one team can go home with their prizes. The other goes home with what they came with. Nothing. Because it's time for B-Day Goes Bang! So, two teams of brothers and sisters came to the Blast Lab. One, the yellows, leaving happy with all of these prizes. These are all yours. Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Congratulations. The other team of brothers and sisters, hi, Reds. It's a different mood going on because you did really well all the way through and you were a great sport and then you lost. I'm really sorry. And so it is with a heavy heart that I must ask you to do this. I say heavy heart, it could just be indigestion. Either way, follow me. It's time for the walk of shame. Let's do it. We're coming through. Thank you, audience. Thank you. I know it's... Oh, it's sad. Yeah. Oh, it's heartbreaking. It is sad. OK. Reds. There's no nice way of putting this, really. You lost, so what you're going to do instead of taking your prizes home is blow them up. Blow them up. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. You played really well all the way through. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry that you couldn't win in the end. So if you'd like to lift the plunger. Yes. See, look like united as a family team, sharing the blame together for blowing to bits all the prizes they'd love to have taken home with them. Right, if we're ready, audience, let's count them down. From 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Been a good day. We've learnt about friction by putting objects in giant frying pans and studied some, frankly, funny phenomena in slow motion. So, from the lab rats and me, it's goodbye. Actually, the lab rats have barely noticed the show's even started, so it's goodbye from me, really. Goodbye!
Hiya, I'm Ore, and this is Newsround's 60-second update. Bullfighting will soon disappear from part of Spain. The contests are being banned in an area called Catalonia from 2012. It's a tradition that's lasted for hundreds of years, but campaigners said it was too cruel for the animals. Now they want other parts of Spain to ban it too. A Dutch teenager who was banned from sailing solo around the world has been told she can go after all. 14-year-old Laura Decker wants to try to become the youngest person to complete the challenging trip on her own. She was stopped from setting off last year because the Dutch courts thought she wasn't old enough. Finally, Andy Murray has sacked his coach. Miles McClagan worked with the British #1 for more than 2 years and helped him become one of the best players in the world. But he is still looking for his first Grand Slam win. OK, well, that is it. We'll have a full roundup for you with all the day's stories right here at 6:25. See you then. Bye-bye.
Ori from Newsround there?
Now, there's a man who exercises here.
Tell me about it.
Not like you.
All right, welcome back. In just a moment, we have got brand new Animals at Work starring John Barrowman.
Lovely man.
Right now, however, we are banning exercise on a mission.
Don't ban it, you're wrong, Ian. It's lovely.
Let's
Don't
see what
ban
everyone at home
it.
thinks.
No.
We've got one here from Emma. You're right, Emma. And Emma says, no!
What's she saying?
She said, no!
Thought so.
You can't ban exercise because I love karate and it's a good outlet to kick people.
Well, I've got a good karate move.
No, you don't.
I do. It's a kick. Do we show you?
Yeah, show me your kick thing.
What?
What was that?
It was my karate kick.
I barely felt it. Tickled. Next one's from Luke. You're right, Luke. Who says, Ian, have you got a hole in your head?
Have you?
No, I love exercise, and if you don't exercise, Ian, you'll get fatter and fatter and fatter. Imagine that happening to you. Imagine that, Luke. Imagine if I was a sort of larger man. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, Hacks. Hacks. Hacks, where's my dinner? Hacks. Hacks, where are you?
Oh, I'm broken. Oh, what a terrible thought, Ian.
I tell you, mate. Well, CBBC at bbc.co.uk. Tell us what you think about exercise. We'll be reading some more emails right after Animals at Work with John Barrowman. Yeah. Lovely man.
Animals at Work, like my accountant, Henry the horse. Not now, Henry.
Run Network.
Oh.